again to impress all the girls and them. They have no interest in me. I started to go crazy. Then I went out to take a drive, and that is when I realized how they was responding to me. All because I have four wheels. They only want me. She only love me. She don't want no shopping spree. Only car. She even skipped dinner with me. Cancel the trip to Miami. Now I have to pay down on a new Audi. I went motor to check the ring for a car to see if I could get a jeep or a car. He said me and Rena have to speak for me to get a discount on a SUV. All she want is, all she want is, all she need is in the morning. All she crying, all she want is, all she need is. This girl got me working hard, but I know that she love me bad. If you hear how she does brag when I pull up in she yard, I tell her that I have a great idea. Let's catch a flight and get out of here. She said we could go anywhere once it will have Arcadia. They only want me. She only love me. She don't want Versace, only car. She don't want Louis V, only car. She don't want jewelry, only car. She only want a man with a SUV. She don't want no shopping spree, only car. She even skipped dinner with me. Cancel the trip to Miami. Now I have to pay down on a new Audi. All she want is, all she want is, all she need is in the morning. All she crying, all she want is, all she need is. I don't know what else to do again to impress all the girls and them. They have no interest in me. I started to go crazy. Then I went out to take a drive, and that is when I realized how they was responding to me. All because I have four wheels. They only want me. She only love me. She don't want no shopping spree. Only car. She even skipped dinner with me. Cancel the trip to Miami. Now I have to pay down on a new Audi. I went motor to check the ring for a car to see if I could get a jeep or a car. He said me and Rena have to speak for me to get a discount on a SUV.
Welcome to the Late Night Show. Hope everything is okay. Hope everything is all right. I'm your host, Andrew Dick. Okie dokie, what's happening on the lovely island of St. Martin? Bacchanal, bacchanal, bacchanal. You see how I say it like that? Because for the life of me, I don't understand. The National Alliance continues to be won at separate places at the same time. But they won at separate places at the same time. What am I talking about? The Prime Minister on one radio station, the Deputy Prime Minister on another radio station, talking about the good works of the National Alliance. First, we're going to check to see what the current Prime Minister thinks about her 3.5 years as Prime Minister and the work that the government has done. What does she think about her Prime Ministership during these times? Let's take a listen.
We went in during the worst time in history of St. Martin. The worst. We were faced with a pandemic, and I think the people of St. Martin have forgotten quickly what that was like. March 2020, March 28th, 2020, we went in during COVID. And I must say, growth. Personal growth as well as professional growth has been the main thing I've noted within the Council of Ministers as well as Parliament, because it requires you to put yourself aside. It requires you to put the people truly first and do what is necessary, and that is what has had to happen from 2020 until now. Stability was promised, and stability has been delivered despite many ups and downs in the interest of the people of St. Martin. We were able to get out of that very difficult period Nobody thought we would. Nobody even knew what the future would look like. And so we're very happy to be 3 years further and to be this year in the black, as they would say. It's the one good time you say you're in the black, black and white. You just get negative connotations for the black, but when you're in the black financially, means you're doing much better. We were in a deficit still when we went into 2020 from Hurricanes Irma and Maria. We have been in recovery since 2017. And then we got licked back by COVID. But the whole world got licked back. So everybody understood now what it felt like. And I think that was also a wake-up call for the Netherlands in understanding a disaster of, world proportions and how that affected us. Unfortunately, we're still being burdened by loans as a result of the assistance we got. But that's also being discussed. We were able to keep St. Martin afloat, support businesses, support individuals and families so that all civil servants maintain their jobs, all public entities that had people hired maintain their jobs, and we were able to offer emergency ESP, financial support to businesses to keep afloat and people to still collect a part of their salaries and be able to sustain their families. Today, and even people who lost their jobs had the opportunity to apply for grants to go and follow their dreams. People can remember I said, I believe that St. Martin a place where dreams can be achieved in the midst of a pandemic. I was telling people this. I said, go back and plant. Agriculture became something that so many people were already involved in, but it became widespread. They saw the health benefits. They saw the cost benefits of trading with their friends. There are agricultural markets popping up every week, if not daily. You can find locally produced greens and vegetables and so
produce,
forth.
basically.
Produce, yes. So this is some of the good that has come out of that period. But of course, we could not execute our governing program in the way that we wanted because we were in survival mode those first 2 years. This past year now, we're starting to get moving and you will see more tangible things coming out. Like I mentioned, the waste reform, the plastic-free program, and some other things that are going on behind the scenes within government, revamping legislation that has been long overdue. The building codes were recently done also by Vromi. The Minister of Finance has done a phenomenal job of cleaning up the financial statements. So we now get much better reviews of our finances than before. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. Multi-annual year planning and ensuring that we're planning sustainably for the future so that we're able to cover all the risks. And that is something the average St. Martiner doesn't think about. So we believe that bringing awareness, our ministries have functioned as best as they could, some of them understaffed, with ministers that are positive, that are committed and dedicated. And I thank, of course, the support that we've received in Parliament, even through the ups and downs. And so I'm proud of what we were able to achieve. We've achieved a lot. And as we go through the rest of this year, people will be able to see the more tangible results of what is still able to be done, even in the midst of having 2 years of serious deficits where you're, just struggling to keep your head above water. So in those 2 years, you couldn't fix roads, you couldn't do a lot of things you wanted to do, but now we see those things are rolling out and the people of St. Martin will be able to see that their hard-earned guilders that come into the coffers are being put to good use.
And an overall assessment on your ministers.
So that's what I said.
Right.
Yes, so it's a growth process for all of us. For some, it's the first time. For others, there's experience. But what I've learned is that collaboration is key. Collaboration is key. We get more done together. And that's why, of course, that segues perfectly into the We Are One. I want to really continue to promote the stability that has kept us afloat within government, also into the party, making us a stronger unit and speak it into existence and work towards it. And not just, as you say, for the party, but we are not only one as a national alliance, we are one with the people of St. Martin.
Okay, then on the other side, Billy D, SOS Radio, interviewed the Deputy Prime Minister and soon-to-be leader of the National Alliance because he is going to postulate himself as the leader for the next Congress for the National Alliance. Nobody tell me nothing. I, most of the time, never wrong. I know he's going to go for leadership because it's impossible. He know that his leader is going to be on PG82 and he going to then go on SOS Radio at 9 o'clock, the same time he leader going to be on PGD2. Impossible. So he going for it. You know that thing, that saying when people say, anything you can do, I can do better. Anything you can do, I can do better. Yeah, that's exactly what Doran is doing. He went on, and of course he went roaring on SOS Radio, and this is your clip for the Deputy Prime Minister.
Let's be real. At the end of the day, let me give you, we driving over here. Yesterday I was in a forum. They're talking about rethinking St. Martin and a green economy and everything. Billy, who wise idea it was to put a dump in the middle of our salt pond? Yeah. And then you come and asking me about questions about it?
Very good, Minister.
After 45 years, you put the dump in the middle of the salt pond.
Listen, but very good what you're saying. You put it there for 40 years, but you know who's responsible for it?
Yeah, me, of course.
Hold on. So when are you going to
When I say okay, wait, Billy,
move it?
let's be real. So after 50 years, the dump be there. I go move it in 3 years. No, it's a whole process. Yes. And let me explain you what's one of your co-hosts on Tuesday night, and as the former minister, he's an MP Emmanuel now, that had my position, went and created a new one right next to it. Bravo. And what you do, you close off a sports facility. We are now as government getting lawyer letters from that sports facility that had the land where the new landfill is now, and we now have to facilitate. So where we going to find land to put a soccer field now? So I'm saying that with all the knowledge, no, I want to finish this point. I'm saying with all the knowledge that we had, because the dump has been there for almost 50 years, if I'm not mistaken, all the knowledge that we had, in 2017, the best idea that could have come is put another one there. So that's right now almost to capacity.
So you're saying the former minister of Rumi...
With that one, because I could tell you, when I asked about who decision it was to put the dump that was there before, nobody know.
So the former minister...
That's a fact.
And
that's a fact.
Speaking about Christopher Emmanuel,
correct.
Created another...
Ilma dump, that's a fact. And I dare anybody to challenge me. That's some factual questions you should ask too. That's a fact. He and Toncha created and put it there together.
No, that was after the hurricane.
Correct.
So
what I'm saying, let me tell you this.
Was it a temporary place to put
Of course it was temporary. Look at no. It got to take 40 years to move it though.
Good. Are you going to? Well, if you
right now we're busy with the NRPB. We're busy with the legal framework, because right now even on the front side you get charged to put your garbage on the dump.
Yeah.
Nowhere in the world but St. Martin, there's no fees attached to it. It's not sustainable, because as government on alone, everybody have to contribute towards they're dealing with their waste. We have right now the TDSR to put a sorting facility to manage to export, to separate the different things. I'm working on a big project to get rid of the tires, because that is very, very hazardous as well. I'm sure you can remember in 2016, once those tires get fired, it don't stop burning. So why just saying it's factual information.
So you're also working on
also, that's all we've been working on.
Okay.
And then we had the whole resettlement of people having to move from on the landfill because of the danger of the different works that need to take place based on World Bank regulations and safeguards. And also, I don't even like to run behind of only because the World Bank say. People were really close, and you have to make sure that they are safe. So they come with extra strict guidelines. And again, and I always say this, even in my meetings with them, we have to tailor-make certain things, because they have a sort of a blanket approach with human rights and everything. Right, but the Dutch government and the St. Martin government at the time agreed to those terms and conditions. So those agreements were made. So now I could do two things, because I spent almost a year back and forth with them that, no, the people don't need to move, they don't need to move. But guess what? Nothing happened in the last year when you're back and forth. And after we discussed in 2021, yeah.
Is that...
At the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, if you feel you have to go independent, or because you really can't take this, whether it's a law against abortion, and you're really against it and the party's for it, come with a reason. Yeah. Have you ever heard a valid reason for anybody going independent in this country?
I haven't. Well, one government fell for in what going on. Sometimes you ask yourself, what did government ever fall for? Okay.
So again, I'm the type of person like this. I'm very thorough with whatever I do, and I try to give respect to those that gave me their support. If I ever, God forbid, I'm going to say God forbid, ever have to go independent, it's going to have to be for a reason. I watched Anguilla government, I think it was Minister Hodge, when he pulled away from the government, and it had to do with a tax introduction and whatever. agree with him or don't agree with him, he had a valid reason. It was a reason. Because it wasn't because I didn't get to become a minister and somebody had promised me to be a minister, or like our good friend here couldn't explain yet why he went independent. But again, that's your choice, your decision. The people have to deal with you when that time comes. I'm not here to sit and judge anyone. But I'm saying, for me, if I ever, God forbid, have to separate from any party or anybody, it will have to be for a reason that concerns the people and not my personal feelings. Because if I have to act on my personal feelings, we'll see a lot of different things.
Election is just around the corner, Minister. You will be a candidate with the National Alliance. What's new in your campaign?
What's new in my campaign is that, I mean, you were there from the beginning. You were there from the beginning before. Yeah, you've said that from the beginning, from 2017.
I still believe that you could do it.
Yeah, 6 years ago, and the approach was, you remember even when I had to do an interview, I was like, by a whole hour, I only got like 15 minutes, I don't know what to say, you know what I'm saying? But now it's a different approach. The campaign now is more talking about results and not talking about trust me. And that's why you see me, I've even taken on a role. I'll say a senior role, although I'm still one of the youngest candidate. I have to double check and like pull some of the new candidates in and advise them on certain things, because you're now transitioning. And for me, the job of a leader is to create more leaders, whether older than you or not, because at the end of the day, this is our rock. I always say I don't got no lifeboat. I can't see myself living nowhere else.
Correct.
You understand? So for me, at the end of the day, we have to walk and not only say that we love somebody. I could say I love you. Yeah. But if I don't show you that I love you, that means I don't really love you. I love the idea.
There was a top one.
So on radio at the same time, two candidates, two prospective leaders, one winner, and of course the Congress is going to be hot. I can't wait for the National Alliance Congress. Speaking about two people that don't get along, Auntie Sarah, Grisha Martin. Long time haven't seen them together holding hands, taking pictures, doing DP drives, doing DP interviews. I noticed nothing is going on their Facebook. It looks like they've gone completely quiet. It looks like, some candidates has dropped out. The rumor mill has it that they don't get along because the Democratic Party right now, the way that they're going, they're looking at one seat. And of course, the question is, who's going to get that one seat? Is it going to be Auntie Sarah or is it going to be Grisha Martin? Now, Grisha Martin received more votes than Auntie Sarah last election with the United People's Party. So now that she's on the Democratic Party, I know for sure if she gets the most votes, that means Grisha is going to be our new Auntie Sarah in Parliament, and Auntie Sarah is going to be the Emily in Parliament and be out of Parliament. So, interesting times. Auntie Sarah is on some issues. Now, of course, they haven't been saying anything publicly, so I guess things might be good in the neighborhood, or things are exactly how people are saying, which is that they don't get along. This is a time where they come out with a video together holding hands and saying that the DP is strong. But if you don't see that happening, that means it's actually trouble in the neighborhood. And then Grisha would have to start to look for another political party. She should have just joined the now. She should have just joined the now. Chris had say, come to the now from a long time, and she still went to the DP. Now, look. Now, look. Get it? Because it's now and look. Anyway, don't forget, the great debate is this upcoming Sunday. We have the URSM and we have the United People's Party, two candidates going head-to-head on public infrastructure. That's what we're talking about, all right? Welcome to the Late Night Show. We have a good one for you. Let's begin.
At SXM, we're taking travel and tourism to new heights. Here we boast spacious check-in areas, 10 passport control points, comfortable departure lounges, and finally, there's an airport in the Caribbean that takes your travel plans as seriously as you do. Princess Juliana International Airport.
Grab a beach chair and umbrella at one of the many beach bars.